For more information on hosting your own radio program, call David O'Shaughnessy at 914-636-1460. For rates and availabilities, that's 914-636-1460. 93.5 WVIP.
At Indian Point, we've helped power Westchester and New York City for about 4 decades. Recently, as part of an agreement with New York State, we are working toward an early and orderly shutdown of the facility by 2021. Until then, we'll continue safely generating about 25% of the reliable, round-the-clock electricity that powers the city and Westchester, all with virtually no greenhouse gas emissions. Safety is, as it always has been, the top priority for everyone at the plant. We will continue to keep Indian Point fully staffed, and full-time inspectors from the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission will monitor our daily operations. We'll also continue to play an important role in our community as a taxpayer and active participant in local charities. Indian Point Energy Center is still working for you, and it's our honor to continue to serve the people of New York. If you have questions about our ongoing operations, please visit safesecurevital.com.
Mary was diagnosed with cancer in her only working kidney. Chief of surgery wanted to remove her kidney and put her on dialysis for the rest of her life. She refused. She was given no other option than to wait to die. Then she came to Dr. Lederman for radio surgery. Today, Mary is cancer-free and functioning normally. No cancer, no dialysis. Dr. Lederman even treated her second different cancer in her ureter with no cutting, no bleeding. Non-invasively, it's gone too. Mary is happy and healthy. Mary is grateful that she met Dr. Lederman, who changed her life. She functions fully and is cancer-free. Treatment was outpatient and painless. Mary is grateful to Dr. Lederman. Perhaps Dr. Lederman can help you too. For a free booklet DVD called 212 Choices, 212 Choices. Most insurances, Medicare, Medicaid accepted. 1384 Broadway at 38th, 212 Choices, Dr. Lederman.
New York's Caribbean Voice, 93.5.
Someone has to turn this on here. My name is Brad Bernstein. I'm an immigration attorney.
I am David Squeeze Annakie, and obviously one of the hosts on the Brad and Squeeze Show. I have a business that's called Link Up Media, and it's been around since 1996, and decided to start a radio program.
And Mr. Annakie sold me some radio time and said I'm going to be on radio with a guy by the name of Squeeze.
I didn't think it was going to evolve into a business.
And I went back every week on Friday night to see Squeeze. And every Wednesday, Mr. Annakie would call me and ask for money to pay for this advertising time.
Give him this deep corporate talk and talk to him about business. I had to separate the money from the personality, you know.
And it took about 2 months before I realized that Mr. Annakie and Squeeze was the same guy.
Next thing I know, I'm doing a radio show live from Jamaica to the United States.
When I first started on the radio, Squeeze kept saying, you know, I filed for my citizenship 5 times and he kept getting denied. And off the air I was saying, let me do your citizenship, let me do your citizenship. And he goes, no, I'm not interested. I had this other lawyer, he said he was the best lawyer and didn't want me to handle it.
I was like, dude, I have actually attempted to do this multiple times, and it has failed me every time. I gave in after working with him for a while. A few months later, I was in Hartford, Connecticut, getting sworn in.
Then Squeeze was sold on me. After that, I could do no wrong for immigration. And over 19 years, the show has kind of developed from a law show to a show about Brad's personality, Squeeze's personality, plus we're helping people, plus we're informing people, plus we're making people's lives better.
That's the reason why the show is really what it is. It is that because we are just ourselves.
Something very interesting happened when you work with somebody every day. You become their best friend.
And that's a fact. She has become, believe it or not, my best friend.
One day, Squeeze had a great idea when Facebook Live started. And his great idea was, I'm going to take out my phone and film our radio show.
The next thing, they're building a green room in his office.
And we are now turning our radio show into a broadcast show that is going to be seen live on Facebook, that's going to be seen live on YouTube. And oh, by the way, you're still going to hear our broadcast show on WVIP 93.5 FM.
It's phenomenal, and the most gratifying thing is that we're truly helping people. It's amazing walking through the airport and people come up and say, Brad and Squeeze, you guys are the greatest. If I could cry, tears would actually come out of my eyes right now. Just keep watching. A pleasant, super good morning on the 18th day of October.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
How are you, Mr. Boom Boom?
Wonderful,
Mr. Boom Boom Room.
I'm not Mr. Boom Boom Room.
So Squeeze calls me last night. All right, I'm having a nice casual dinner.
And I'm in a business meeting.
Right, you're in a business meeting. Right, so I'm eating dinner by myself. I'm having a drink. I'm texting friends. I'm catching up with people. Squeeze is like, "What are you doing?" I'm sitting by myself. Squeeze says, "All right, I'm coming over." Never shows up. Then
at a meeting.
Right. Then around 10:30 last night, calls me up and he says, "Come on over. I'm in the Boom Boom Room." I go, "The Boom Boom what?" "Yeah, I'm in the Boom Boom Room in Meatpacking." So I said, "Okay, fine. Gonna come over." Now there's 2 rooms there apparently.
Yep. And
right?
My colleagues and I, after we were discussing that
apparently there's 2 rooms.
Project there.
So so I show up, and I've never been there before, and I'm not really Squeeze is Mr. Nightlife. I'm not. What do I know? I'm just an attorney. So there's 2 rooms I can choose to go to. There's one that's like a restaurant, but I know Squeeze already ate. And then there's one where there's seems to be like a lot of beautiful people. So I walk into the one with the beautiful people. But these are beautiful people, Squeeze, that are men dressed as women.
I went to the left.
Right, so I'm saying to myself, why is Squeeze here? So then I walk out, and then I said, am I in the Boom Boom Room? Yeah. And they go, yeah. But I go, is there another Boom Boom Room, or is this it? Why is Squeeze bringing me to this place? And then they go, oh, the restaurant's over there. And then, you walk into a very nice restaurant, and Squeeze was there with, his business associates, and, there was a different situation going on. So I was actually.
So what was that room?
You could have.
Tell me more about that room.
I don't know anymore. I walked in and I walked out, but I can tell you that in the future, you can give me
Be a little
more specific where I'm supposed to be going. All right. So that was my night last night.
All right. Very interesting night you had, Brad.
Yes.
Bottom line is that.
Right. And it's fine. It's okay. They were harmless. It was fair. Yes, right. It was harmless. It was fine. But it was just I walked in. I was very shocked that that's where you would tell me. To meet you.
Yeah. Because that wasn't your team there.
But they're fine. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. All right. By the way,
this is the Brad and Squeeze show.
Why don't you introduce?
We talk about just about any and everything, seriously. And we're here. We're going to be answering your immigration questions. We're in our brand spanking beautiful new studio. You see the Spar and Bernstein sign behind because it's a law firm, of course, that also brings the show to you. Of course, sponsored by USA Credit Repair. And my name is David Squeeze Annakie. I'm going to ask for you to now start calling us at 1-800-529-5465 to get your immigration questions answered, because this show is building, and I'm saying building real fast. We were off the air for about 6 solid weeks. So people, went through this void, and they missed us and withdrawals and all of that. Now it's building up. So the lines are getting jam-packed very quickly. So call us 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. The Brad and Squeeze Show, sponsored and brought to you by USA Credit Repair. And what's in the news today, Mr. B?
You know what's in the news today?
What's in the news?
Brad and Squeeze bragging.
Eminem or Kid Rock?
No, Brad and Squeeze bragging first.
Oh, Brad and Squeeze bragging.
I just saw the stats from our first Monday show.
Bragging Brad?
Bragging Brad, bragging Squeeze.
Everybody know I'm bragging Squeeze.
We had over 30,000 people, 1.5 times the size of Madison Square Garden, watch at least part of our show in either the 9 o'clock or 12 o'clock hour.
So we got
30,000 people.
If I went street, I would say we got mad people watching.
We got some mad people watching.
Mad people watching.
Including, by the way, some of our regulars, Blessed Sugar Combs, good morning.
Wet Sugar.
Candy.
Tanika.
Yeah. Most Blessed Diane has been watching. Tamika.
O'Neill Johnson.
Cordella Willery, watching from the beginning.
Monique Minzy.
Who else has been watching here from the beginning?
Renee King, got to say much respect to
almost everybody who said hello here. I can't go through everybody, but almost everybody who has said hello so far at Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein on Facebook has been watching.
As a matter of fact, give me 15 seconds, Brian.
Sure.
It's 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to be going through a lot, but right now, we do this so that we can get the lines going, to get the calls going. Right now, what Brad and I would like for everybody out there to do right now, we're watching. We want everybody to actually go to their page, and you're watching us. click on the share button, all right? Our SMG team is going to pin what's going on right now to the top of our pages. But click on the share button on that page and share it to other pages. Share it to other groups. You can type in the group section. Maybe you can type the word immigration. Maybe you can type the word for another country.
Why don't you give all your technical, I don't know what to type.
Just share to pages, groups, share to on your timeline, share to all your friends.
And then what you can do.
And it's at David Squeeze Annakie, Law Officer Spar Bernstein, and also Brad
H. Bernstein, and also on YouTube at Law Officer Spar Bernstein.
And YouTube also.
And if you're listening on 93.5 FM, it's okay to turn on Facebook. It's okay to turn on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We will accept less listeners. Mr. O'Shaughnessy will accept less listeners on VIP for our Facebook show.
You mean accept more?
They will accept more or less, whatever. But any event, and what you can also do, by the way, is after you share, please type in a little comment. I shared. Be proud of it. Be proud of sharing that Brad and Squeeze show. So anyway, I have a lot of news here to go through.
The moral of everything that we're doing here, on a serious
What is the
note,
moral?
The moral
I don't know what the moral
to get
is.
a bigger audience.
Of course.
That is the moral. Mm-hmm. And we want to say thanks.
Squeeze is not shy in saying that.
No, we want to say thanks to 93.5.
You're not shy in saying that.
Platform.
Right. It's not like you're being very transparent.
No, I'm being very transparent. Yes. The more people that's listening to the show,
more people
we can genuinely help. Yeah. And we want to say thanks to all the people in their cars, the trucks, the buses, the highway, the parkways, the dollar vans, all of that. Brad loves it when I say that.
Because Squeeze has been doing that for when I first came on your show 19 years ago, the first time you started screaming, "Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the immigration lawyer here. If you're in the car, you're in the byway, you're in the..." It was the first thing Squeeze I've ever heard Squeeze say, screaming and yelling like a... But you used to stand up. You did not sit. You used to stand up and you used to bounce.
I really hate sitting.
You used to bounce.
I wish that when this studio was designed, it was designed so we could stand.
Yes.
We would be more animated, more energy.
You know what's very funny? I was just talking to Jill.
You're like a newscaster.
I was just talking to Jill. I said, when we go to redesign the studio again, which I'm sure we'll do in a few months after, we get the hang of the show, I said, maybe we made a mistake in building this desk because we've lost all of our ability.
We lost our energy.
A lot of maybe, but we'll see how it all goes. We like the show.
I want to stand.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, by the way, I just want to go through the news very quickly.
After I tell them again, 1-800-529-5465. Call quickly.
We're going to be answering your immigration questions. We already have 3 people on hold, so we're going to get to everybody. But I just want to go through the news quickly here because it is a Wednesday morning, and we got to know what's going on, right? It's National Cupcake Day.
National Cupcake Day.
It is National Cupcake Day.
That can be taken... Oh.
Yeah, cupcakes are also called fairy cakes and patty cakes, Squeeze.
Are you talking about really like cupcakes?
The actual thing you're eating, yeah. It was invented in 1776. What else happened in 1776?
I'm not going to be I'm going to be an ass now.
Don't.
Why is that important?
I have no idea.
Why is Cupcake Day important?
Let me give you.
This is really the Brad and Squeeze show. Why are we talking about cupcakes?
I don't know. Let me give you some more
cupcakes.
That's what I'm told here. Let me give you some more.
Who came up with a cupcake idea?
I don't know. I'm just reading the news as I see
it. What the hell is going on here? Who came up with that idea?
All right, I did.
Are you kidding me?
I did it. I know you want.
Seriously?
I wanted to throw Jill under the bus, but it was actually my idea.
You came up with that?
And actually, I could have skipped it if I wanted to, but I actually wanted to talk about National Cupcake Day. You know what also happened today?
What's happening to you?
In Prospect Park. You got to be very careful now living in Brooklyn these days, Squeeze. Not only are the ICE officers out, not only, are people getting pulled over for the color of their skin, not only are people's rights being violated and trampled on every day, now in Brooklyn, you also got to watch out for wandering bulls. Did you hear that?
Wandering bulls.
Wandering bulls, yes. In Prospect Park, which is the largest park in Brooklyn, apparently overnight there was wandering bulls. Nobody seems to know how these bulls got into Prospect Park. It's enough you got to worry about ICE agents, police officers, stray bullets, and now you got to watch, in Brooklyn, now you got to watch wandering bulls as well. You see that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, all right, you want to go to immigration? We'll talk more news later.
I was just looking at the bull.
Yeah. You want to talk more news? Let's see. Eminem versus Kid Rock. We can talk about that later. What else is happening? Yeah. Hawaii judge refuses to overturn the travel ban. Trump has barred 125 million Muslims from entering America. Apparently, none of them are good people. That's what the judge said, that they can't point to one person who is a decent person who would be allowed in from any of those countries. So the judge has, again, banned Donald Trump's travel ban. It's a ban on the ban, and overturned the ban. And it's quite funny because, you know, Donald Trump's the one who's screaming and yelling about Obamacare. Obama overstepped his boundaries. He made executive orders that overstepped what the president is allowed to do. He said the same thing about DACA, which is why he is stripping millions of people away from their work permits. But it's perfectly okay when it suits his purposes, Squeeze, to go ban 125 million people.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Not cool.
And
Not cool.
And you see this also. The Army is now banning green card holders from enlisting as of today.
No, that's interesting news.
Okay.
Whoa, back up,
yeah.
back up.
Army recruiters, let me tell you what's going on here.
Hold on.
This is more interesting than the bull in Brooklyn.
No, this is a lot
This
more.
is more than National Cupcake
I
Day.
like this. I mean,
All
whoever
right.
came up with the cupcake idea,
That was me.
maybe they've been hanging out in the boom boom room too long. But talk to me. What's going on?
So,
Your green
Army,
card?
Yeah.
You
So
mean
I'm reading the
residents?
news here. Yeah. So Army recruiters have been told to stop enlisting green card holders into the Army effective today, according to an email sent out to Army recruiters. The email reads, and I'm quoting it, "Effective immediately, do not ship or enlist any foreign nationals until further notice." So if you have a green card, you can't enlist in the Army anymore. You can't go defend America anymore.
Although you're a legal
Even though you are a legal resident
in the United States of America.
Who, by the way,
you cannot enlist to defend the country that you're a resident
who,
of.
by the way,
So only citizens.
right, who, by the way, okay, I've yet to hear of a green card holder, maybe it exists, I haven't heard any story yet, of any green card holder who has done anything that has been detrimental to the U.S. military or to the United States of America as being a member of the military. I haven't seen it yet. I have seen a naturalized U.S. citizen shoot up an Army base in Texas. I've seen naturally born U.S. citizens walk off an Army base in Afghanistan and desert. We've seen that. That guy just went to jail. What's his name? Bergdahl. But I have yet to see or hear about a green card holder doing anything detrimental. And quite frankly, I'm going to say a couple of things about this.
Quite frankly.
I'm going to be frank about this, all right?
Well, be Brad about it.
I'm going to be Brad about
And
it.
we want some Braducation.
Yeah. Okay, number one,
Yeah.
okay, to get a green card, you got to pass a background check to begin with.
There you go.
Okay? It's not
Right.
like they handed out a green card like they handed out a lottery ticket.
This really sucks.
Okay?
Man.
People had to be fingerprinted. People had to have their backgrounds checked. Okay? If we're allowing somebody to live in the United States, travel on airplanes, travel in the United
They have to do
States,
drug tests, they have to do
everything,
all that stuff. Yeah.
everything. Okay, that's number one. Number two, after you're in the military for 1 year as a green card holder, you can become a U.S. citizen.
U.S. citizen.
And as a matter of fact, later today we're going to have an interview with a guy by the name of Hector Barajas, which actually goes right into all
morning?
of this. What?
This morning?
Yeah, this morning.
Okay.
We're going to have an interview with a guy by the name of Hector Barajas, who was a green card holder, who was in the military, and he got deported because he ran into problems with post-traumatic stress syndrome after coming back from war. And we're going to talk to him about it, and it's actually quite an interesting story and what he's doing to help other green card holders who got deported who were in the military as well.
But very interesting news. I'm very interested to get a follow-up on this later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
To see how this unfolds right here on the Brad and Squeeze show.
Now, federal law says that the word is may. Says the military may enlist naturally born U.S. citizens, naturalized U.S. citizens, and green card holders. It says may, it doesn't say must. So we'll see how it all turns out. All right, let's go to
1-800-529-5465.
right?
This show is also about answering immigration questions. One of the things that I'd love to see our production team do, Brad, is to throw up the number for outside of the United States for people to call, which is +1 212.
+1. Make sure you have the plus there.
+1.
Because people still need the plus sometimes. Squeeze makes fun of me that I always say +1.
+1.
Because our phone automatically does the plus
Yeah.
now. Nobody's phone doesn't automatically
Because
do
the
it.
people on social media keeps reminding me to tell Brad.
Do you remember the years ago?
Tell Brad to put up the number.
Do you
So
remember?
I'm telling you, put up the number, Brad. Let me give it a number. +1.
+1, 2,
The important part for you.
Yeah.
212.
Correct.
227.
Correct.
8933.
Correct.
33.
Correct.
And you know what that number is, Brad?
That's Spar and Bernstein. And
Okay.
also to get on the radio.
Okay, good.
All right, let's answer some immigration questions. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. When you were saying the +1, I was actually harking back in my own head to the times when you used to have to go 0, 0 on the rotary to call international.
I was born then.
All right, I was born. I guess I'm dating myself. All right.
Let's get to the phone lines right here.
From Atlanta?
Brad from Atlanta. Thank you so much for calling. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Morning, Steve.
Are you Brad
Morning,
also?
Brad.
Are
Good
you
morning.
Brad?
Yes, I am. Yes, I
Brad,
am.
talking to Brad.
Brad to Brad.
Look at the big brain on Brad in Atlanta. What's up?
What's up? I have two quick questions for you. Do you have an office in Atlanta?
No, we do not. But immigration is federal, and we fly to Atlanta a lot for immigration hearings. We do phone consultations all over the United States. We do Skype consultations all over the United States. We do all the paperwork here. We prepare people either by flying to where you are. We attend interviews and court hearings to where you are because we can fly anywhere that JetBlue, American, or United flies. Or Southwest, I don't know, or any airline flies, we can buy an airplane ticket and come to you for all your hearings. So we handle cases all over.
And my second question is, I have a daughter in Jamaica, just turned 18. I'm a U.S. citizen. If I'm to file for her, about how long does that process take?
About a year, and you should do it now because you are a U.S. citizen. She is an immediate relative. She is allowed to come here immediately. There is no waiting list. It just takes about a year to go through the bureaucracy. And with this orange guy in the White House, who knows how much longer anybody's going to be able to file for anyone. So for everyone out there, including Brad in Atlanta, file for your loved ones now or forever hold, what is it? Or forever hold your peace, I guess? Or forever hold whatever. I don't know. There's a phrase, I can't remember it now. But file now.
Okay, thank you. I'll give you a call.
Thank you. Hold on one second. By the way, do you know the number to call is the same number to call to get on the radio?
You mean 1-800-529-5465? You mean 1-800-LAWLY?
I do mean that.
Or do you mean +1 212-227-8933?
Both work.
Which one you talking about?
Both work. Both work.
Once again, folks, Brad and Squeeze Show. Brad is an attorney. I'm here. Businessman, they call me CEO of Link Up Media. Whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. All right? Because we're gonna be doing Cooking with Brad and Squeeze.
We are. We're going to do a cooking show. I am not even kidding, folks.
I bet you any money, the same guy who came up with the cupcake story today that was invented in 76? Mm-hmm. Okay, the same guy who came up with that.
By the way, you know,
is the same guy who wants to do Cooking with Brad.
By the way, you know what we're going to do later in the week? David Moreno is right now. Okay, you want to know how cool we are?
Oh,
you want to know how cool we are?
Why don't you tell us, Brad, how cool we are? I'm very interested in
you want to know how cool we are?
How cool we are.
Let me tell you.
Cool.
I'm in the boom boom room last night. Okay, that's how cool I am. Okay, number 2, David Moreno, who's one of our criminal defense attorneys. He's fantastic, former district attorney in Manhattan.
Right.
Fantastic lawyer.
Yep.
And he's one. If you look on
he's
our
on
website,
one of the top 40
top 40
lawyers.
black lawyers under 40 top 40 lawyers under 40, regardless of race.
Right.
Top 100 litigators in America and top 40 black lawyers in America. And he's won all those awards. He's in Europe right now. So I spoke to him on the phone.
This guy, man.
Yeah,
where in the world is David Moreno?
He's got a life, right? So I spoke to him. I go, so where? I spoke to him. Because we got to speak still. He works here, and he says to me, "I'm in Amsterdam." So I said, you know what? I said, very interesting place for a criminal defense attorney to be in Amsterdam. I said, can you remind me, is weed legal in Amsterdam? And he goes, I'm pretty sure it is. So I said, it would be a great segment because we now can Skype.
Yeah.
Right. I said, we're going to talk about.
Why don't we try to Skype him now?
We can't. Because he's in transit. Okay, we're going to do this later in the week, so stay tuned.
I'd love to see it right now.
He's going to take a walk to one of these, cafes where they serve weed and you can smoke and everything. And from the cafe in Amsterdam, we're going to Skype with him and we're going to talk about the marijuana laws here in New York.
That's very interesting.
Is that cool?
Very
ironic, right?
I don't know about cool, but interesting.
I think that's cool. All right, so stay tuned. We're going to be, we do some fun stuff
Let's get to another call. This is the Brad and Squeeze Show. We do answer immigration questions at 1-800-529-5465. Call us now.
Angie.
Let's go to Angie.
Good morning.
How are you?
Pleasant good morning to you, Angie.
I'm well, thanks. I have a question for you, Brad.
Yeah.
I sponsored my daughter March 2011. She's in Jamaica. Prior to date is March 2011. How much longer do I have to wait?
Is your daughter are you a U.S. citizen? Is your daughter single?
I am. I
Okay.
am a U.S. citizen.
All right, so right now they're up to January 22nd, 2011. So you did March 2011. Have you done everything through the National Visa Center already? Have you done the affidavits of support and everything?
Yes, I did.
And you received it, and you received a letter that everything was transferred to Jamaica?
I did not receive the letter. I got an email that the case was complete.
Okay, good. All right, good. So now I would say your daughter's approximately 3 to 4 months away from becoming eligible for her green card. The embassy, because of this orange dude, has slowed down drastically. So even though she'll be eligible for her green card in 4 months, a year ago I would have told you, yeah, she'll be here in 4 months. My guess is probably it's going to double, probably 7-8 months. She'll be getting her interview.
Okay, thank you. Do you have an office in Hartford, Connecticut?
We have an office that we are going to be opening in Hartford, Connecticut next month. Marina, if you watched our citizenship thing yesterday, she's going to be up there every day.
You may want to tell the people who Marina is.
Marina's one of our fantastic immigration attorneys.
We should never assume.
We don't assume anything.
You can't just say Marina.
You should make an ass out of you and me.
You
I
can't
know
just
that.
say,
I know.
Marina. Who's Marina?
I'm explaining.
Thank you.
And I believe we're going to be, I think the street is called Congress. Is there a Congress Avenue in Hartford? Is that
yes.
Yes, that's where we're going to be, on Congress Avenue.
All right.
All right, so you can come check us out in Hartford next month, okay?
I'm going to do my mom, so I want to know where your office is.
Fantastic.
So
all right.
But she can hold right now.
She can hold right now, and we can start you here in New York and then transfer you to Hartford once we open. Hold on.
Why don't you officially tell the people who Marina is?
She's an immigration attorney.
Okay.
She's fabulous.
She has a last name?
Marina Brakefield, yes.
Okay. All right. Just clear that up.
Don't put me on the spot. All right. 1-800-529-5465. We're going to somebody in Long Island. I don't know.
Let's go to someone in Long Island. Okay. Do remember that we are on 93.5 WVIP and, of course, Facebook and, of course,
You know what would also be nice?
Share for us, please.
The person on... Okay, it's Angie from Long Island. And also, if Muta Ali, who's doing a fantastic job, if he can also scroll across the screen to please ask people to share this with their friends and family on other sites that they think that people would enjoy watching this, that would help us.
And if you could scroll across the screen, that this is also brought to you by USA Credit Repair.
That would be nice too.
Occasionally,
yes, because it is brought to you by USA Credit Repair.
Occasionally, you know,
right? It's the key to beautiful credit.
Yeah, split second.
It's the key to beautiful credit.
It's the key.
USA Credit Repair.
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
And call them right now. 1-800. I got my card here. Here it is. 1-800. Here it is. Brad and Squeeze card. 1-800-872-7177. USA Credit Repair.
Yeah, there you go.
For 90 days. They will repair your credit for $99. It's $1.
No. You see, there you go, screwing it up again.
What? It's $99. It's $1 a day.
No.
Why don't you do $1 a day?
There you go, screwing it up. Oh my God.
$99 in 90 days. They're gonna repair your credit.
No, it's $99 a month. But you said that the other day, and we corrected you, and now you're back on.
It's not $99 a month.
It is.
It is $99. I thought it was $99 for 3 months.
What we've been doing is we have been giving the people the first month absolutely free.
But why can't you then say it's $99? It's $1 a day for 90 days, and then after 90 days, if you want us to continue.
So you're coming up with the pricing.
Yeah, $1 a day.
Let me come up with the pricing for your company.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like a good deal.
You want me to come up with a pricing for your company?
Maybe you should. You know what the pricing is for this right now? It's free.
And everybody's like, Squeeze, go ahead, come up with a pricing for Brad.
All right. Yeah, they would love it. They would love it.
Anyway, we'll get back to
USA, we're going to get back to USA Credit Repair, but it's 1-800-872-7177. They're our proud sponsors. Let's go to Angie in Long Island. Angie.
$365 for the year.
Squeeze, Brad.
What's up,
How are you?
My name is Angie Angel.
Oh,
hey! How are you?
Hello! Squeeze would say.
You're my angel.
Oh, yeah. We're going to Shaggy.
I'm good.
By the way, do you know who sings that song?
You're my angel.
You're my angel.
No.
You don't know who sings that?
He lives in Long Island, too.
He lives in Long Island. What country are you from? What country are you from?
I'm Jamaican.
You're Jamaican? He's also Jamaican, sings. It's his #1 song. His #1 downloaded song. Squeeze, why don't you sing it for her a little bit?
I do not listen to music that much, so I'm clueless.
Wow. I'm going to tell you something. That is very rare for a Jamaican to say. Most Jamaicans listen to music a lot, I think, right?
I don't think it's just Jamaicans.
Most people.
Yeah, I've been
most people.
So it's not.
It's not just Jamaicans.
You're making it sound like it's only Jamaicans.
No. I just know Jamaica. Yeah, I'm just.
What? You don't listen to music?
All right, I am going to stick my foot in my mouth. Squeeze happens to be right. All right, Angel, what are we going to do for you? What's your question?
By the way, Squeeze.
Yes, darling.
When are we going to have a squeezified marriage?
A squeezified marriage.
These people, they don't play, man.
Yeah, we're going to do a squeezified. Squeezified marriage is just.
Squeezified marriage.
That's going to be just Squeeze talking about sex with them, I think.
No. Absolutely not.
I think that's going to be like Squeeze, like talking like sex talk with them or something.
Absolutely
You know, I'm going to do the
not
ratified just on the legal stuff, all right?
No.
All right, so what's up? What's your question?
I have a question I'm asking for a friend. I think it's a two-part question. I hope I don't forget anything else.
I hope not.
Okay, she came here as a minor. She's now in her 30s, though. She came on somebody else's documents, but she's now married to somebody that was in the Army, that was honorable discharged.
Great.
And so
let me tell you what we're going to do. Let me tell you what. I already got the answer for you. Say no more. We got a young lady who came here as a minor on some fraudulent documents, and she grew up here, and she lived here, and presumably she doesn't have any criminal record, and otherwise, other than for her entry and the fact that she lived here illegally, she fell in love with this man in the military who was honorably discharged. And the question from Angel in Long Island is, how does this young lady get her green card? Well, first of all, as long as the illegal entry happened as a minor, it can't be held against her. You can't commit a misrepresentation as a minor because she didn't have a choice whether to come here. Somebody brought her here and told her, go use this document because she wasn't an adult when it happened. Okay? So that misrepresentation can't be used against her. Now, if you're married to someone in the military, she entered without inspection. If you're married to somebody in the military who is honorably discharged or somebody who is currently in the military, you could apply for something called parole in place. Parole in place is a fake entry document, for lack of a better word. They allow you to give you a fake entry document as if you made a legal entry into America when you didn't. And after that, it's only for people who are married to people in the military or former military, and then she can adjust her status. So we can help her get a green card.
Absolutely.
Will she get it here, though?
She's going to get it here. It's called adjustment. You get it here. It's adjustment. She's going to get everything here.
The other part to the question is, they have a 10-year-old child together, but they just got married like a few months ago. They have a 10-year-old child together, but the kid's name is not on the birth certificate. That's in process, but she wants to know if she has to wait for that before she can start doing the paperwork.
File now.
Okay, Brad, she's coming to you. I'm sending her to you.
Fantastic. All right, so Squeeze, this is the deal. We've been a lot of military stuff today.
Yeah.
So so what we're going to do is, I'd like to go see if we can find Victor Barajas somewhere. We're talking a little bit, Hector Barajas. We talked. He got deported for an aggravated felony, and we talked a little bit about what aggravated felonies are, and then we heard a little bit about how he helps other deported military veterans. It's a really interesting conversation that we're going to have with him. Right. When we come back, we'll talk about USA Credit, and we're going to end with the rapid fire. So everybody who has their immigration questions, leave them in the comment section right now on Facebook at David Squeeze Annakie or law office of Spar and Bernstein. We're going to answer all of that in about 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
And Shannon, yes, we're gonna see Shannon here with me as well.
Who's Shannon?
Shannon Laguerre is one of our fantastic immigration lawyers.
Okay, I gotta make sure you.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Who is Shannon?
Yeah.
All right, let's see Victor. Let's see what's Hector. I'm sorry, I keep calling him Victor. Hector. Let's see what Hector has to say and what we have to say about aggravated
It's the
felonies.
Brad and Squeeze Show, heard each and every single weekday right here, live at 9 and live at noon. And today we have Shannon on the show, one of the attorneys here at the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, and obviously we have Brad. And Brad, an interesting question that comes up all the time is aggravated felonies. I need for you to expound a bit more on that so people can understand more about it.
You know, I actually brought Shannon on to discuss aggravated felonies, but you know, when people hear the term aggravated felonies, it sounds like it's really bad, like you did like the worst thing in the world. Mm-hmm. You know, they only came up with the term aggravated felonies in 1990, in the Immigration Act of 1990, and they referred to an aggravated felony as murder, drug trafficking, illicit trafficking in firearms. That was it. Yet you were an aggravated felon under those scenarios. In 1996, they expanded they expanded the aggravated felony definition. It's over 30 different crimes now are aggravated felonies. You can be found guilty of a theft offense, be sentenced by a judge to more than a year in jail, and have that judge suspend the sentence that you didn't spend a day in jail. You're an aggravated felon.
Wow.
There are so many minor crimes now that are aggravated felonies. It's dizzying for immigration lawyers. It's dizzying for criminal defense attorneys who have to advise their clients that if you plead guilty to an aggravated felony, it's automatic deportation. There is no relief from that unless you're going to file some sort of withholding of removal that you have a fear of returning to your home country because there's you're going to be tortured. Shannon?
I think even more problematic is that there was a recent U.S. Supreme Court in 2012, and we were talking about this, Brad. I taught a course on it the other day, where it's Kawashima. They owned a restaurant. It was a Japanese couple. They basically had their green card. They've been living here. They own several restaurants, and what ended up happening is that they basically, on their IRS forms, they basically ended up owing $245,000, and they actually were told to pay it back. And they did, and then afterwards they ended up in immigration court because reality is that they owed over $245,000. It was seen as theft, and so basically what they ended up doing
as a fraud,
and they ended up paying it back. And so I'm so sorry, they ended up paying it back, and then at that point they were still deported. U.S. Supreme Court said, hey, we are going to have to agree with the Ninth Circuit. This is fraud. It's over $10,000. At one point it wasn't $10,000 as you're indicating. They actually lowered that amount.
Almost. There's so many crimes now that are aggravated felonies. It's mind-boggling, and there's so many good people who get deported who may have made a mistake in their lifetime, but now are suffering. Not only they're suffering, their family is suffering and it's almost like a double punishment squeeze.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, with us today, we have someone who has actually served in the services here in the United States, but was deported. And I do believe it was Mexico. Hector Barajas?
Yeah, we have.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, we have Hector here. Hector, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon, guys, and thank you guys for having me on the show.
All right. So, Hector, you served in the military. Is that correct?
Yes, I served from 1995 to 2001.
What service were you in? Air Force, Marines, Army?
I was U.S. Army. I served with the 82nd Airborne, so I did a lot of airborne operations, jumping out of perfectly good airplanes, as we say, and putting my life at risk. I didn't serve in combat, but I did. I'm considered a wartime veteran because of my service during 9/11.
And when did you first come to the United States?
I came to the United States at the age of 7, around 1985.
And you came with a green card?
No, we actually got my green card around the age of 15. My parents fixed through Ronald, I believe it was the Ronald Reagan.
The amnesty.
The amnesty,
right.
And I get it to them exactly.
Right, and then your parents got their green cards. Your sister got a green card. I understand. You have a U.S. citizen daughter who's now age 11, and then at some point after you got your green card, you joined the military and you served honorably, and you were, and I also understand you were honorably discharged from the military as well. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So now, how did you end up in Mexico, deported and separated from your family? What happened?
Sure. Basically, after I got out of the military service, I had problems with alcohol and some drug addiction, and I was involved in an incident where somebody fired a weapon out of a vehicle. Nobody was hurt, but I did end up spending 3 years in prison, 3 years with half, for a which is called PC Code 246 in the state of California, discharge of a firearm into a vehicle, and that's what I was eventually deported for.
And that's an aggravated felony.
Yes.
That is correct. Yes.
Right. So you got deported, and what year did you get deported? Because there's no relief from that deportation unless you have a fear of returning to Mexico.
Right.
Exactly. I got deported in 2004, and I didn't want to stay in Mexico, and I came back about 6 months later. And I got in 2009, and then I was deported again, and that's when I decided to stay here.
Right. So you re-entered the United States without permission, which, by the way, you were very lucky that you didn't go back to jail again, because that's actually a crime.
Right. How did they get him in 2009, though?
How did they find you in 2009?
Yeah, how did they find him?
Basically, I was driving around. It was a fender bender, and I had a ticket that I didn't pay.
Oh,
so that turned into a warrant. So they took me in. It was time served for the warrant for the ticket, but then I had an immigration hold because I was previously deported. The immigration officer that was handling my case said that because I hadn't committed a new crime and in my military service, they decided they were just going to reinstate the deportation, and they weren't going to give me any federal time. So
that was very lucky, because
Yes.
a lot of people end up doing time in jail and then getting deported. Now Hector has a very interesting story from here.
Okay.
And we're going to talk a little bit about how he helps other people who have been deported. He's lived it himself, and how he's lived it, and he's learned to cope and survive, and he's taking what he's learned in getting deported, and I assume helping others, not only in Mexico, but around the world. And we're going to talk a little bit about what he does to help people. And in addition to that, we're going to help him with his immigration status and see if we can give him some advice on how to get back here legally.
That's great.
But Hector, how are you helping deported aliens right now in Mexico?
Sure. So right now I opened up a shelter with other people, and we have a deported veterans support house here in Tijuana, and we're more of a resource center now than actually taking people in. We help them with their VA benefits, with compensation, pensions, volunteer counselors. We have a direct relationship with the ACLU, so they review some of their cases. Some of the people are already in some kind of legal resolve with their cases being worked on. We have funeral details for the men, and then we started organizing with other communities. So right now we have veterans being deported to 42 countries that we're working with, that are either in detention, being deported, or already deported to their home country.
Now, how did you get the idea to do all of this? What was the impetus for you to say, okay, I'm deported, and now I'm going to help every other person who gets deported, not only in Mexico, from around the world, reacclimate themselves and be able to try to live a better life for themselves in another country? How did you get this idea? What precipitated it?
It was a need, basically, that I saw that needed to happen. I was already taking in deported veterans into my house before we started the house, and then over the years it just turned more, like I said, we started off as a shelter, and then it turned into a resource center. But that's just because I've always haven't been content with just providing just the basic needs. I think there's more that we can do, and
I think it's
fabulous. Just had a congressional visit on our second congressional visit on Friday to Tijuana, and we're working with legislators to introduce legislation which is very conservative. Most of these guys would go with the legislation that's been introduced.
I actually find it quite ironic that here you are helping veterans who have been deported from the United States. You're in Tijuana. You can't come back to the United States, and you have congressmen and congresspeople coming to visit you in Tijuana to see how they can help their fellow military people who also get deported. It's quite ironic.
Exactly.
So let me ask you a question. How many countries are you currently serving right now, in terms of helping deported veterans?
42 countries that we have identified, but it could be more.
Wow. And what kind of aggravated felonies are you seeing that veterans who have been deported in the military, who have served our military, who have served our country? These are veterans who have been to war, possibly have been in combat, defended American freedoms. What kind of things are you seeing them getting deported for?
There's no pattern that we've seen as far as what crime is committed, because it could be anywhere from fraud, from a check, to domestic violence, to a couple of pounds of marijuana, a couple of ounces. But we have seen, one of the things that we have seen is for the combat veterans, there is a direct relationship with their PTSD or their military service, that when they got out of the service they didn't cope well, didn't have the support, and they just basically went into a downhill spiral. But they did serve their prison sentence. We want to be very clear that we don't condone any criminal activity, but this is something that's not new to veterans. There's 22 suicides happening every day in military veterans. We've lost more men in suicides, men and women in suicides, than we lost in the Afghanistan and Iraq.
And it's a very good point that you make. People go into combat. People are in the military. They come back with post-traumatic stress syndrome. I think that's
many things happen when that happens.
Many things happen when that, and people are getting deported when maybe the U.S. government should be taking a look at it from a mental health standpoint instead of a deportation and a punishment standpoint. And I think that's a really good point that you're making there.
But you know what, Brad? I mean, he mentioned earlier a couple of things. One, he came to the United States at the age of 7.
Right.
2, he had alcohol and drug problems after getting out of the service.
Right.
You think that these would be things that the United States government would actually take in consideration where his immigration concerns?
When you had the congressional team come down to Tijuana to see what you're doing, did you have a discussion about it with them?
Yes, they're mostly focusing on the VA benefits, on how they can change certain VA policies. So there was 13 things that we asked that hopefully they could change, because if we can't go home, and I don't see us going home anytime soon, at the very least we could change their economic situation by getting certain VA benefits, and also making sure that they get the medical attention that they should receive. So that was the biggest one.
And also to address Squeeze's point, in court, that's what we do all the time when we go into court in front of an immigration judge. We bring up all these points in order to be able to show that, hey, why should they go back to this country? Not only have they served their country, but they also are at this point suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder.
And they have a family. He has a family here, right?
But the problem with Hector was he was an aggravated felon, and then he re-entered the United States, and then that was automatic deportation without even being able to see an immigration judge.
Absolutely, and that's correct. But even before that, when it was an aggravated felony, I mean, of course, we're not sure what he could have made, but we could have talked about CAT. There's also CAT, Convention Against Torture.
Right.
We could have talked about, hey, going back, we don't know what would happen. Those are things that we would need to explore in order to
I'm very happy that Spar Bernstein is handling this situation by speaking with him and is going to be working with him.
Well, hopefully we can. Now, I understand, Hector, I understand that you recently got a pardon from Governor Jerry Brown in California. Tell us about that.
Sure, we submitted 5 pardons. I'm a part of a steering committee for deported veterans in the United States, and we had never thought about asking for pardons, and we asked for 5, and we got 3, and
you were one of
basically them. I don't have exactly. I don't have a criminal record, and I was already in the process of U.S. citizenship about a year before I got the pardon, and now basically there's no reason why they should deny me, but they're looking at maybe denying my case.
Well, let's take a look at your immigration situation, okay?
Sure.
You can look at your immigration, and I'm going to let Shannon, I'm just going to frame it, and I'm going to let Shannon talk about it a little more in detail with you, okay? You could look at your immigration situation from two different vantage points. There's a vantage point of, I'm deported, and I was deported after a re-entry, which is a 20-year bar to even applying to come back with a green card. So let's say you want to look at it from the vantage point of, I want to come back with a green card. You have a 20-year bar after being deported after a prior re-entry from a deportation. It's a 20-year bar. Now, he got a pardon. With that pardon, he no longer has an aggravated felony. It goes down from a 20-year bar to a 10-year bar. He got deported in 2009, so conceivably he can try to reapply for a green card in 2019 and re-enter with a waiver and a petitioner for a green card in 2019. That's one way that you can try to attack his case.
Right.
Okay. Another way, and that would be with a 212 waiver. Another way to try to attack his case, which is what we were talking about with Hector about 2 minutes before we got on the air, was that there are rules and regulations and laws that say that if you were a member of the U.S. Armed Forces and during combat and during times of war, and he was in 9/11, it was a time of war, you can, even if you were an illegal alien in the military, as long as you were in the military, you can apply directly for U.S. citizenship, provided you can prove good moral character. And Hector has told us that his citizenship is in the process of being denied because the government's saying he did not have good moral character in the last 5 years.
Well, what he has is a notice of intent to deny, and so with those, basically, you're responding to it and basically explaining why you should not deny and being given that opportunity to do so. So it looks like if he's able to establish his good moral character, what he's been doing, all the equities of what's going on in his life at this point, and the fact that he has an 11-year-old child, I could see them actually granting it.
And quite frankly, Hector, you know, if you can show all your equities, I mean, look at how many people you're helping.
Right.
You have Congress coming down, congressmen coming down to Tijuana because you are doing such a wonderful job. You're doing this in 42 countries as a deported veteran. You have parents here. You were living here since you were 7. You know, you had one bad day. You had a bad day. You were in a car and somebody shot a gun. Nobody got hurt. You did your time. You were punished. But yet having one bad day doesn't mean you should be punished for the rest of your life.
And there's case law to
And there's case law that backs that up. And Shannon's 100% right. Now, Shannon, let's say, you know, because we're not handling his case at this moment. We just met Hector.
Right.
Okay, and I'll let Hector talk a little bit in a second. Let's say his citizenship is denied. A de novo review would be appropriate?
Absolutely. I mean, you would certainly at that point file an APA claim or even a mandamus actually in federal court and explain why it is that they're wrong in their decision. And at that point, the federal court will make a decision either to remand it back or just give it to him.
Right.
And so normally it works in those ways, especially with these kind of scenarios that you're talking about, the fact that he's military and then he could get the congressional representatives to actually actually write a letter in his behalf. I could see that actually being excellent in being able to get a de novo review in federal court.
That's good.
Hector, what do you think about all this?
One of the things that Shannon mentioned earlier is that when they did send the letter, we are sending a rebuttal letter explaining all the things that we've been doing and why I shouldn't be denied the citizenship and exactly. And about the other stuff, this is the first time that that I was hearing about the other stuff that she mentioned. I know that attorneys are
about because you could attack this from two ways. You could say I want to come back as a green card holder because you know in 2019 if you have a petitioner, or I think actually it's a smarter way is to attack it that I should be a citizen because I was in the military, and then that solves all your problems, and that's probably the fastest way to do it.
Yes.
And quite frankly, if they deny you. And what I would do actually is I would, submit as much documentation as you can to show good moral character. I mean, you must have a ton of this, okay? And I mean, you have to have good moral character to have even gotten the pardon by a governor.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a much higher burden than it is to show good moral character for citizenship. And I would give them 90 days. Literally 90 days to make a decision to make you a citizen. If not, I would be bringing it into federal court.
Right, because you can file a mandamus at that time if you feel that it's an unreasonable delay in making a decision on the case.
All right, but so Hector, I know you have your own attorneys. Obviously, we're happy to help you any way we can. So if you want, we can talk further with you off the air. Hector, can you give us how, if anybody wanted to reach you or contact you? You're doing such wonderful work, how they can reach you, how they, do you accept donations for what you're doing? Tell us a little bit about your organization and how they can contact you and your organization.
Sure, they can definitely contact us, and it looks like you guys already put up the website information. So we have all the information on there, how they can donate, what kind of things we need, also which bills and legislation are in right now that they can support. And it's very important that we continue to support our men and women regardless of where they're at. Oddly enough, the only way I can return right now is if I get hit by a bus. Then I can be taken back to the United States. They'll put me in a coffin and give me the 21 gun salute.
Well, yeah,
we've had that happen.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you can come back to be buried in Arlington National Cemetery, but you can't come back to live in America in the meantime. But I will tell you, Hector, you are a true American hero. A true American hero, somebody who has really lived what America stands for. Immigrating to America, making a life for yourself, serving your country, being able to be given other people second chances in life, helping other people. That's what America's about. I wish Donald Trump watches this. I wish all the senators watch this, the congressmen watch this. You deserve to be back in America, and I think one day you're going to, believe it or not.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, and before you go, just want to remind people that, of course, you can go to the website deportedveteransupporthouse.org to find out more about what it is that Hector does in helping deported veterans all over the world. Once again, Hector, thank you so much for being on the show here, Brad and Squeeze Show.
Thank you, guys. And I just wanted to point out one last thing, that these are the kind of things that are very important, that we raise awareness and we educate people on citizenship, that it's not automatic, so they can reach out to attorneys or their local JAG officers so people can become citizens, because a lot of us were under the impression or miseducated, or we didn't have a good chain of command. So thank you guys for having us on, and hopefully more people will, that if you're not a U.S. citizen, go out there and contact the right immigration lawyer so you can start your process, because you could have a bad day, you could and you could end up in my situation.
I can imagine, Hector, how many veterans in the military think that they're citizens and probably not.
Right.
That you come across.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
And thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.
All right. There you have it. Hector Barajas. Remember to, of course, go to his website, check him out, find him what it is that he does, and spread the word around the world about him helping out deported veterans.
I guarantee you that we haven't heard the last of Hector.
I am quite
and
sure
I think this is going to end up very happily for him. He's gonna come back.
We got our fingers crossed and our prayers.
And we're going to see him face to face with his U.S. passport. That's what I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shannon, thank you also for being here with us.
Thank you, Shannon. Wonderful.
Thank you for having
right. Last second edition here, Shannon. Thank you very much.
I know. Thank you.
Right. She's awesome, Shannon.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure having her.
Yeah. You know, I'm an American citizen, but if I had to pick, like, I love all the lawyers here, but if, like, I'm in deportation, I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth.
Go on. Open mouth, insert foot.
If they wanted,
open mouth, insert foot.
If they wanted to deport me, I wouldn't want anyone next to me than Shannon.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
All right.
So there you have it.
Yes.
Do you remember his name now?
Yes,
Can
I
you
do.
say his name now?
Yes, I do. He is Mr. Barajas.
Hector,
correct. All right, let's. This is, by the way, brought to you by USA Credit Repair. We didn't really get a chance to do page 21 today. Always squeezed out. 1-800-872-7177. Call them right now. 1-800-872-7177. We're gonna go to rapid fire. If we can pull up Kim, if we can pull up Squeeze, we got about 3 minutes to go. Rapid fire. Bang, bang, bang. How's that?
Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
All right, that sounds like a movie. All right, let's see if we can find Kim right here on the segment we call the social media guru. Okay.
All right, we don't have a lot of time, so let's get going.
Let's get some volume up on you there.
We need volume. I can barely hear you.
Yeah.
All right, and let's get going.
Turn up your input.
We don't have a lot of time. Let's go.
Okay, once again, folks, we're going to be taking your social media questions right now.
And Kim needs to go up, but let's go quickly. We don't even have time. Up or down? Let's go.
What's your first question?
YouTube wants to know, what if you requested to expedite your case and it was denied? Does it affect your wait in line?
No, you're still in the same place. Squeeze.
No, keep going.
Keep going, Kim.
Glossier Roper wants to know, what if you married to a permanent resident? Can they file for their spouse who is here?
Yes, and it'll take about 1.5 years. You're either going to become a U.S. citizen and adjust, or you're going to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back. If you're a permanent resident and you're married to someone, file the papers. I-130, get it in now.
Okay, Tash Allen on YouTube wants to know, good morning, my 9-year-old child did biometrics in August. How long will it take to get travel documents for my re-entry permit?
It takes a good 6 months, but you could always come back beforehand with the green card if you need to.
Okay. Tamika wants to know, if a friend did her affidavit for her and she has to file for her husband, can she get an affidavit from someone for her husband's paperwork?
You could get an affidavit from the same. One person could do 10 affidavits as long as they make enough money. If not, you could always get a second affidavit of support from somebody else.
Okay. Kimmy Kim wants to know, a friend of mine married someone from a different country, came here on a visitor's visa. She also wants to know if she can still do the divorce here, even if she hasn't heard from her husband.
Well, in New York, if the marriage didn't I can only tell you about New York. In New York, if the marriage didn't occur in New York, you got to be living here for 2 years. So if the friend just came here and wants to do a divorce in New York, they're not going to be able to because they don't have the 2-year residence requirement, unless they got married in New York, which I doubt.
Okay. Myers wants to know, my husband is a U.S. citizen. How long will it take for my husband to file for my children in Jamaica?
About 1 year.
If the I-130 starts before a permanent resident enters the military, would the wives have to still continue with the provisional waiver, or can they change the method?
They can change the method, do a parole in place, and adjust here.
Okay.
Okay. My question is, what is a Form 245I and how can I apply?
There is no 245I. There is Section 245, which is the adjustment. It's 485 is the form, and you have to be able to be eligible for your green card. All right, we're going to be out of here, Squeeze.
And everybody that's on my page, I promise you I'll get all your questions answered live at noon on the Brad and Squeeze Show.
We will do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been great. The proceeding was informational only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easily remembered, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?